Hey folks, my guest today is Jonnathan Koch. He's a founding member of Talent Genie and Talent Scraper, along with ClipDrop.io. His latest venture aims to turn the one-way video interview software industry on its head by exploring multiple ways to use video in the talent acquisition space. Jonnathan, you ready to take us to the top?
Absolutely.
All right, so just to be clear, you've got three companies. Which one has the most revenue? Is it ClipDrop?
At the moment, no. ClipDrop is probably the most promising project that we've worked on. Talent Genie is probably the one with the greatest revenue at this point in time globally.
So what is Talent Genie? How do you make money there?
Well, Talent Genie is a applicant tracking system. It's a system designed basically to track your recruitment process. We integrate into 2,500 job boards around the world. So Monster, for instance, would be a job board. And effectively integrate into the likes of social media like LinkedIn, Pinterest, Twitter, etc., all for talent acquisition purposes to attract talent. And then we use AI to try and process the applications as they're coming in and effectively screen the candidates as they're coming in.
And what's the business model over there? Is it SaaS or typical recruitment fee or what?
It's a SaaS model, but it's the go-to-market strategy is slightly different to a traditional SaaS model. It's more sort of like a one-on-one communication that leads to client attraction as opposed to clients coming to find you, which is the traditional SaaS model from what we've experienced. But yeah, it's a good business. I think that it's got some decent clients globally. I think we've got about 1,500 clients globally now, which is obviously
Sorry, how many globally?
About 1,500 companies globally using it.
Oh, wow. And what do they pay you per month on average to use the tool for their ATS?
It would all depend on what's being done. So it's customizable. We could build a whole lot of different components into it to basically cater for a need, whatever the need might be. But effectively, it could be as low as say, $50 to $100 and as high as $200 a user, depending on what needs to be done.
Well, but now is a user's not a customer though, right? A customer could have a lot of users.
No, it's a user. It's a seat or a user.
So you have 1,500, not customers. You have 1,500 seats on your platform.
Yeah, currently, yeah.
Across how many brands or companies?
There's probably a total of about 400 different companies using it at the moment.
I see. Okay, so we can take 1,500 seats there times 100 per month. You're doing 150 grand a month over there in revenue.
Yeah, well, it depends. So in some cases, if you look at so I'm based in South Africa. In the South African context, the South African market is a very small chunk of what we actually control. On a global basis, I think the business probably turns over about $5 million.
Mm-hmm. Okay, got it. So it's at a $5 million run rate today, which means it does about $500,000 a month in revenue. More
or less, about $400,000 a month in revenue.
Wow.
It all depends on where you're looking. The reason we got involved with ClipDrop is because we believe that it's far more promising.
Mm-hmm. So tell me about that. I mean, if I was sitting on a business that I assume Talent Genie is growing, doing $5 million a year in revenue, I certainly wouldn't distract myself with something new. I'd try and keep growing it. Why was now the right time to focus on ClipDrop?
Well, we think that it's one component of the talent acquisition space that's been ignored, and effectively where you do find one-way video interviewing type models or automated video interviewing type tools that are out in the market, we think that they are underutilized to a large degree, and price point is one of the reasons why they are underutilized. We also think that there is a massive opportunity to utilize video for multiple things, all within that same space. So we've found 7 different uses for video in the recruitment or talent acquisition space, which includes the acquisition or the marketing of candidates or both.
Oh, what's going on there, YouTube? Good to see you guys. Now imagine this. You love watching these interviews with SaaS founders, but imagine if we took all of the valuation data out from over 2,807 interviews I've done manually. Saves you a lot of time. Well, we've done this. We've built it into the beautiful interface inside of FounderPath. Check this out. I'll show you how you can access this in a second, but you log in, you connect your Stripe account, you see your valuation real time, you can see what it changed over the past 88 days, and even set goals for valuation this year. Now, the secret to valuation is there's many different ways to value a SaaS business. So the reason you're going to see 3 or 4 different valuations inside of your Founder Path dashboard, this is all free by the way, is because depending on who's doing the buying of your SaaS company, you're going to get a different valuation. A VC is going to pay a different valuation. Private equity firm is different. If you're going to do a minority sale, that's different. And if you sell the whole business, that's a different valuation. You can see all those when I hover over here. Right, so the teal is what a VC would pay, yellow is what private equity, and red is if you sold the whole thing outright. Now, what's cool about this is not built off random data. Again, you guys hear these interviews on YouTube. All these data are built from real-time valuation data points founders share with us on the show. So traction, 1.2 million, seed round, 3.7 raise, they sold 22% of their business. Go in here and filter by the event. Maybe you only want to see companies that have sold the whole business. Well, here are a bunch that have been acquired, the valuation and the multiple. Maybe you're going out right now and you're raising your seed round. Well, go in here and look at all this recent seed deals that went down, what they raised, what valuation they raised at, and what percent that they sold. There's never been a larger data set of SaaS valuations than what you can get now inside of Founder Path, and we're thrilled to bring it to you. All right, we're going to go back to the YouTube video here in a second, but if you want to check this tool out, if you want to jump in and sign up, you can check it out for free to get your valuation at this link, founderpath.com/products/valuations. Or if you go to founderpath.com and hover over products, click on get your valuation here and go ahead and sign up to give it a whirl. Again, all that valuation data live right inside the platform. I hope to see you there. All right, let's jump back into the interview. You mentioned price. How much is ClipDrop pre-revenue, or do you have a couple paying customers already?
We've got a few customers, not many. When I say not many, we had our beta testing coming to an end at the end of this month. A few of those clients have already switched over and started paying.
How much per month?
And roughly about anywhere from $100 to about $500 a month, depending on the number of seats. Okay. So I think $120 a month for a single seat. See, the model is slightly different to the traditional model. We are a subscription-based service, so you could have as many vacancies as you like on the platform, whereas other services are charging per vacancy. And of course, it comes with a whole lot of additional components as well. For instance, you can launch a blog or a vlog, and we integrate directly into social media platforms. You can direct people directly through to interviews, or you can reach out to them. So you can do a direct reach out using video. So you can imagine the power of the two of us sitting here trying to have a discussion over LinkedIn via text, and the next thing someone sends a video message via text or via the
But Jonnathan, you mentioned this pricing is unlimited applicants, but isn't the core value of your platform, if it works, I'm hiring more people, and shouldn't that be what you charge against if that's the core value?
Well, we've actually capped it with the number of gigs space that you could actually use. Think about Dropbox. So we give you about 20 odd hours of recording time per user.
Why do you think that's a better value metric though than number of candidates hired?
From a SaaS perspective, we get paid every month.
Right? Well, yeah, but that's the point though, right? You want to serve your customers first. And if SaaS is the best way to do that, then great. But you don't want to force a business model on your customers. So for your customers, why do they care more about storage than they do hiring people?
Well, the reality of the matter is that when you're looking at the recruitment industry, so just to give you some background, I've been in the industry for about 22 years. Volumes do fluctuate, but we are basically charging the same price that a competitor might charge for a single vacancy. Now, if you're working anywhere from 5 to 10 vacancies a month, it makes a lot more sense to use a product like ours at the same price as a single vacancy. And we understand what you're getting at, where you're saying that, all right, well, you've got a whole lot of additional recruitment needs that are available. Sure, you can buy additional space from us. But we've got a very, very simple, streamlined model that just makes a lot of sense for the end user. They're getting greater value for a lower price point as it goes on, with a better quality system as well.
Yeah, I mean, but so just for context, like we've had Colin Sims on with iSims, we've had K1 and Pete Lampson on with Jazz HR, who've bought many companies in this space. I'm pretty darn familiar with the space. You could have someone that's paying you for storage, but it's terrible at hiring. They never hire anyone, right? Yeah. But they're paying you a crap ton for storage. because they churn through so many candidates. That's what I'm trying to understand. Why have you made a decision that it's better to price against storage than the true like value thing of an ATS, which is the candidate was successfully hired?
Well, it's how do you measure that if you are an ATS? I mean, do ATSs actually charge for a hire? No, they don't. They charge for that. It's a platform. They are an intermediary between the person that's actually doing the hiring and the person on the other end, or the job board or the social media platform. It's a management system.
So why not number of applicants tracked?
Well, it doesn't matter where we look. And I've had the opportunity to look at a lot of different systems. There are not many systems that actually charge for the number of applicants that are actually being tracked. Generally speaking, when you look at an ATS, for instance, they'll be looking at seats. Some of them might cap it at a certain number of vacancies that you can run through the system. We just don't. We believe in the volumes gap. We believe in adding as much value as we possibly can, but still to be fair to the business. And we believe that we're being fair to our own business and our own business model by not stretching it to a point where it gets abused.
Yeah. I mean, the flip side of all this is if you're going to let people do unlimited tracking of applicants, you also effectively cut off your ability to ever reach 140, 150% net dollar retention because you have no way to expand customers unless they're really aggressively driving up what you're pricing against, which is amount of data stored on the platform. Absolutely.
And that's on ClipDrop side. On the Talent Genie side, of course, you can only have one user access. So we use single sign-on to prevent that from being abused.
Yeah. Okay, very cool. Well, so ClipDrop has a beta customer wrapping up now. How many paid customers are on the platform today?
We currently have about 10 that have been converted from the beta customers so far.
Oh, wow. Okay. So 10 times $240 ARPU, that would be 2 seats. I mean, you're doing like 2,000-3,000 a month already.
Yeah, about.
Yeah, that's great. And how is the org across you and Talent Genie? How are you splitting your energy and resources across the new exciting baby versus the legacy genius that's paying for everything?
Yeah, so it's a good question. I do feel sometimes like I've got a bit of a split personality at times, got to wear two different hats. But I do have a strong support team, and they've been stepping in and really giving me a lot of support.
How many full time are on the team?
For ClipDrop or for Talent Genie?
Give me both.
Okay, so there's roughly about 11 people currently full time, focusing specifically on Talent Genie, and we've got 3 on the ClipDrop side. We've already started to look at employing someone to take over some of the responsibilities around Talent Genie. We're looking currently at exploring additional headcount in the ClipDrop space. There's a lot of interest at the moment in ClipDrop. We have some large white label organizations that traditionally have brought in customers for other sorts of software, from payroll type software across the board. They're wanting to white label the product, but there's also a number of governing bodies in different parts of the world that are looking at actually promoting the tech. So we think we're in a fairly good space as far as that's concerned. So
have you bootstrapped ClipDrop to date, or did you raise outside capital?
Bootstrapped it from the beginning. Yeah.
I love that. Right. So how much of Talent Genie's dollars have you funneled into ClipDrop already?
That's a good question, man. I can't actually answer you. It's been a labor of love for a while. So, every now and again when additional work needs to be done, you don't even think twice. You just
when did you write the first line of code for ClipDrop inside of Talent Genie?
I beg your pardon?
When did you write the first line of code for ClipDrop, like inside of Talent Genie?
Wouldn't I write it?
When did you write the first line of code?
First line. So sorry, man. About 2 years ago.
Okay.
And we actually came up with a very basic idea. We just wanted to provide another automated or one-way video interviewing platform. And then we took a step back and we said, well, now that we have it, we have the same thing that everyone else has got. Is that cool or not? And we realized, but it could be cooler. So we sat down, we said, well, what would be cool is, we take it a little bit further. We do X, Y, and Z. And eventually 2 years later, we had created 7 different uses for the same application.
I love that. Okay, very cool. So you're scaling ClipDrop down. We'll see what happens. Let's, on that note, wrap up here, Jonnathan, with the famous 5. Number 1, favorite business book?
Richest Man in Babylon.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
there's a guy called Brian Joffe, a company called Bidvest. He kind of started off bootstrapping his business, and I believe it's currently worth about $5 billion. Very, very interesting guy. He plays mainly in the Southern Hemisphere, but I love his work. He's been brilliant at what he's done.
Number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building clip drop?
To be honest with you, I can't really tell you which one is the favorite. I know when I sit down with my development team, they all seem to be throwing different tools at me all the time. But I wouldn't be able to recommend anything at this point in time. I'd need to speak to a few of them to find out which ones they would actually settle on.
No problem. Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
I try and get anywhere between 6 and 8 hours a night.
Fair enough. And situation, married, single, kids?
Divorced with 2 kids, teenagers.
2 kiddos. Okay. And how old are you?
I'm 46.
46. Last question. Something you wish you knew when you were 20?
That I knew what I know now.
It's just something you can't say that. Something you wish you knew. Give me something specific.
Something I knew. I really wish I knew a lot more about tech and what was coming. And I really wish at an early age that someone actually said to me, learn to code. I think if I had done that at an early stage, I think a lot of the things that I aspired to achieve would have been achieved a lot sooner.
Guys, his main business, Talent Genie, has broke $4 million in revenue with 11 full-time employees. And he said, I want to spin out and build another software tool. They've launched clipdrop.io, which is effectively an applicant tracking system on steroids, but they allow you to do video and use video in different ways during that process. They charge based off storage, have beta customers now signing up, doing $3,000 a month in revenue as they look to keep scaling it, totally bootstrapped, which we love. Jonnathan, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
All right. One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers. They try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company, or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them, and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.